we're so excited. We'll just give a little bit of background of ourselves, and then we'll tell you why NHT. So, first of all, both Chris and I have a background as executives in previous network marketing companies. We've had our fingerprints involved in a lot of different areas in network marketing, whether it was being leadership, executive, developing formulas, creating compensation plans, implementing back offices, putting together sales strategies and technologies. We've been involved in this industry, and we love this industry, and we're very passionate about this industry. But I do have to say, most of our passion really does come from creating the most advanced formulas, getting out there in front of the industry, getting out there about helping people in a way that most standard nutrition doesn't. And so that's how we came to formulate StemRenu. The two of us really knew that we had a game changer, as you kept mentioning in the introduction, to get something out there to truly help people at levels that were different than other nutritional formulas, and we'll get into that in the presentation. So I have certifications and background in health and education. Definitely love to do trainings, helping people to understand how the body works. I've also done a lot of TV, radio programs that are educational in the Twin Cities, and did that for 5 years. So really love that passion about getting people the information that need in order for them to change their lives. Chris, would you like to mention your background as well?
Sure, just briefly, again, 30 plus years in this industry, the healthcare industry, and I knew I wanted to go into naturopathy, and the many mentors I've had have been global. And that's really a big part of our attraction to NHT, because it allows us to bring in the concepts of the East, traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, and the understanding that comes from Eastern Europe out of the Russian technologies that are out there, and all the dynamics that deal with the body as an energy being, and understanding how we function with nature. And we designed StemRenu around these concepts, and we just are so excited to be able to go globally to share with all the different cultures of the world that this will interface with, because this is about how the body works, how we exist, and all the different sciences that are out there. This is a perfect synergy with supporting individuals as well as the practitioners.
You make a good point. The body works the same whether you're in the United States, whether you're in Russia, whether you're in China. It all functions the same. So we were excited about NHT when we saw the other products that we could complement with StemRenu. That was a big piece of the story for us. The global footprint, the integrity of the company. When we met Joe and Dan and the executives of the company, we knew that this is the company that we wanted to have as our home for StemRenu. And you mentioned, you talked about the financial stability. All those things were so important. And you're right, Joe. You guys are one of the best kept secrets, because we never heard about NHT, and we are so honored and pleased to be a part of this organization and with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Let's talk about the product. Here it is, StemRenu, and one of the key ingredients behind StemRenu is that it's dealing with very unique signal molecules, and these signal molecules aren't available in our food today unless there's a unique process that goes on. So what you're looking at is the miracle food called the egg. We all know about eggs. You look at an egg when on day one it's breakfast food, but in 21 days it transforms and creates life, and that's the miracle of life. And how does that happen? It happens once an egg is fertilized, it becomes a stem cell. And that stem cell starts to manufacture signal molecules. And these signal molecules in the egg mature between the 7th and 10th day. And why we call this a pre-embryonic extract means that these signal molecules are harvested before they're infused into the embryo to make the heart and the lungs and the kidneys. So we're capturing these incredible signals that have the ability to create life. And what we share with everyone out there is that the molecules that can create life can also, the molecules that create life are the molecules that can heal you. So this is what we're introducing with the StemRenu. So the power that has the power to heal you, and this is what we are capturing and bringing into this technology.
People ask us, why do you get this from Norway? Very, very important question and very important answer. It's because it's the cleanest source for harvesting the signaling proteins that Dr. Chris is talking about. And the reason being is because it comes from a very pure source in Norway, where we're talking about having the ability to incubate up to 10 days that special egg, and so that we can really have a concentration. Then we can take those signal molecules out and pull them into, and freeze dry them, and so that we don't denature them. And it's really important to get it from Norway, because in Norway, they do not have the kind of diseases that they do in like the United States when you get an egg. So they don't have to give their chickens
all the antibiotics and vaccinations. Yeah,
all the vaccinations. They can give up to 22 vaccinations here in the United States. In Norway, they're only required to give one, and that's in the entire world. Every chicken that is ever sold commercially has to have that one vaccination. So we're really proud to have this from Norway, because we have the cleanest source, we have the most highly concentrated source for this pre-embryonic signal molecule.
Exactly. Healthy environment makes for healthy signals. So this is a great slide to introduce renewal science and the technology. When you look at a cell of a baby and the cell of an elderly person, 60-year-old individual, there's no difference in that cell. The blueprint is the same. The genetic makeup is all the same. So what's different? The difference is in the signaling that's gone on. The difference is what the environment has created and expressed, because this is how our genes express themselves, the blueprint itself. So when we're able to reintroduce those signal proteins, those signal molecules that facilitate the ability for the tissue to maintain its health and vitality and integrity, we can actually reverse this process. And I'll give you an example. Like a baby can renew its skin within 2 weeks, but someone that's 50 or older, it takes up to 12 weeks. And the only difference is that they're missing these signal proteins. And so when we reintroduce these signal molecules with the StemRenu, we're seeing individuals regenerating and repair as if they're in their teens. So there's the proof. The proof is that the aging process that's accelerated by our stressful environment can be reversed as long as you have something that mediates the stress and also acts as an architect in order to direct the good nutrition and the lifestyle that we try to maintain.
So that cell has the ability, whether you're young or old, to be able to have the communication process, but our body loses that communication process as we age. And that's why we tend to age. We lose that part of it. So when we introduce those signals back in, you can see that we can have some reversal.
This is what it looks like. Here's the stem cell. This is what's happening. The stem cell releases molecules, and this is what a side view of a cell. And if you look at this photo, you're looking at this interaction, because what does the cell do? It makes proteins and makes energy. So when these signal molecules go in there, they interact with the surface, and the surface communicates into the factory inside the cell that creates energy, the factory that creates more proteins, the factory that regulates the body. So all of these things are about signaling, manufacturing, maintaining, repairing, everything that the cell is required to do. And we have trillions of cells, and this goes on in every one of them. And when you have the proper signaling, you can regenerate and repair the body. Okay, the second ingredient that we really are excited about, this part of the StemRenu, is the aloe vera extract. It's a unique gel that has the ability to essentially be anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antimicrobial, immune modulator. And all of that depends upon the integrity of the aloe vera. And what I mean by that is that the molecular structure has to be maintained. So we have a very unique process for the egg extract, and the same thing applies to the aloe vera. This unique aloe vera is handled in the most pristine way and maintains the integrity as if it were fresh aloe vera. And because of that, it has the ability to create cellular communication. It facilitates all the dynamics within the cell so that it can protect itself from oxidative stress. It can help the immune system recognize all the different microbes that are invasive. It doesn't matter if it's a virus, a bacteria, or a yeast, any type of invader. Works as a powerful antimicrobial. So you can see the addition of these two ingredients facilitate the body to have the optimal cellular communication.
They're very, very synergistically combined together. And just to keep in mind, not all aloe vera is the same. We can go buy aloe vera anywhere. However, it's the quality that matters, and that's why the quality that we have here in StemRenu creates such an incredible synergy between these two ingredients that not only do we have the ability to activate our signaling proteins, but then we have the ability to be able to receive as well with the aloe.
Okay, this is a great slide here, Joe, and this is one that really helps everyone hopefully to understand why this marriage between StemRenu and NHT's other products is so special. Because what you're looking at here is the cell, and that's the primal component of the body. You know, we have trillions of cells, and each one is designed to function within the tissue that it creates. So, you know, the heart cell maintains the beat and the rhythm. The kidney cells does the filtering and all the things that organ is designed to do. But each one of those cells has an internal mechanism to make energy and to make structural tissue that allows it to sustain the body and its integrity. So let's take a look at these different components. You see the different, let's say we'll call them little organelles inside the cell. There's the ones that act like the immune system. So here's where the StemRenu and the elixirs, we refer to the juices from NHT, the premium noni, the trifusion, the Levi. These are such powerful juices. They have all these wonderful adaptogenic ingredients, these adaptogenic molecules that facilitate the protection and the signaling and the stress mediation that happens within the metabolic function of the cell. So all this activity of protecting itself happens with the StemRenu, which has the protein signals and the aloe signals, and also when combined with the elixirs is a perfect marriage. Then the nucleus inside, this is where the genetic materials expresses itself. So the StemRenu, again, signals, just like we saw in that other picture, these signals go into the nucleus, and they tell the genes how to express themselves to heal and repair. And one of the key formulas that marries so beautifully with StemRenu is Restore Vital. We can't say enough about Restore Vital because it works in those energy factories, those little mitochondria that you see in the interior of the cell, but also this Restore Vital has ribose. It's a very unique sugar, a 5-sided sugar that facilitates the energy production and the function of the nucleus. So now, what are the two main things of the cell? You're going to hear this over and over from us. It's about making energy and making the tissue components. And all these formulas work together to do that and help the cell function more efficiently. So on the surface of the cell, the allopolymannins help the receptor sites develop, because the core of the receptor sites require the mannose molecules that are part of the aloe vera. And again, the elixirs, these wonderful juices that come from NHT, provide the components that facilitate the cellular receptor sites. And then if you look on the right side of the cell, you see these little channels. That's where the cell makes the lipid molecules. And then on the left side, you see those blue channels there. And again, this is the factory that makes the proteins. And so again, we're introducing the omega-3 essential fatty acids to make the best fats for the body. And we're introducing the proteins from the StemRenu and the triatine to make the best proteins in the body. And when you make these components at their primal, let's say, basic architectural design from the pre-embryonic extract that facilitates that, you're renewing the body, you're regenerating the body. We've come from a world that of replenishment that we replenish deficiencies, but now we're introducing the architect to facilitate the cellular function.
Well, I think what's important for everyone to know is that we don't get the nutrient in our food anymore, and so we do need to provide excellent supplementation, and that's what a lot of these other formulas from NHT do for us to complement StemRenu.
Exactly, and again, you have the formulas that help mediate stress, and these are some of the studies that we're showing with the pre-embryonic extract. We refer to it as the young tissue extract. Has been shown to reduce stress, and this was measured by looking at the stress hormone cortisol. So the thing to take away from this chart is that we slow down accelerated aging, because what is accelerated aging? Accelerated aging is oxidative stress, it's inflammation, it's the imbalance of your blood sugars, your pH, it's a breakdown of your collagen, it depletes your hormones and your enzymes. And what we've seen over the years now with the formulation that you have with StemRenu is that we've seen individuals with their blood work comes back and their blood sugars are balanced.
Oh.
Their pH is balanced. They're getting off hormone replacement therapy because their hormones start to balance without taking hormones.
Their emotional bodies are all calm because the cortisols are lowered.
Exactly. So when you can reduce inflammation, reduce oxidative stress, you actually turn back the clock. So we're not slowing down the aging process, Joe, we're reversing it. So this is what's really exciting, and the clinical studies show that. Okay, another example of how this works. If you look at the manufacturing of hormones, this is how the body responds to stress. You look on the stress cycle, you're making cortisol and aldosterone. These are the stress hormones. This is what helps you through fight or flight. And when we are able to reduce the stress, and we can't impress this enough, that's why we have this other slide to show you how it works in the body can then go into the healing phase, the repair phase, the sleep phase, the digestive phase. All the things that stress shuts down, we get to turn on again. So those are the experiences that people are getting from StemRenu. They're sleeping better.
They're sleeping better.
They're digesting better. The repair mechanism, really responds much faster.
A lot of times when people start taking StemRenu, we ask them, well, have you been sleeping better? And they think, oh my gosh, I slept through the night. Really important, because when that happens, you're at the point of breaking that stress cycle. Because when you can't sleep at night, you're running too much cortisol and too much aldosterone.
So again, this is a chart that shows inflammation is at the core of all the degenerative diseases, and we have the most incredible products: StemRenu, omega-3 fatty acids, the noni juice, the trifusion, the introduction of Restore Vital. All of these incredible products reduce the inflammatory process.
Most people don't even know they have inflammation. We call it silent inflammation. So even if you don't feel something,
Right.
You probably have a silent inflammation. By the time you feel it, you already have the accelerated inflammation process going on in the body. So you definitely want to take StemRenu to prevent inflammation and partner it with all of the other NHT products.
Joe, here's the example of how we get into inflammatory status through oxidative stress. This is a metabolic function. This is an external function. It's a stress function. And this stress breaks down our tissue. And again, StemRenu, the incredible juices, Restore Vital, Triotein added to our formulation allows us to have a low glycemic balance in our body. And what that means, it reduces inflammation, which reduces oxidative stress. So anyone that's been told they're predisposed or they've been diagnosed with any type of condition based on this inflammatory or oxidative stress, they can benefit so much from the incredible products that marry with StemRenu.
And something as simple as eating our food or exercising, all of these things can cause oxidative stress. Just daily activities will cause oxidative stress. So, again, you definitely want to take StemRenu to help mitigate the actual oxidative stress.
Here are the ingredients one more time that we've been referring to. You have this egg albumin, which introduces these incredible signal proteins. And again, it's just not eating egg every day. It's eating egg that has been incubated, that has matured and developed these signal proteins.
Fertilized and incubated.
Exactly. Yes. And then the aloe vera has to be very unique and special in order to facilitate all the different functions of aloe, in order to have the immune modulation and the signaling that happens between the cells that goes on. And then there's a marine mineral complex there that is so special. This is wild crafted. It's an algae that's harvested off the shores of Brazil. And we have the clinical studies now that show after 1 year there's a reversal of bone degradation. So now the company has shared with us the ingredient that we have has a 7-year study. So the longer you take StemRenu, the more the cumulative benefit is there to repair, regenerate, and build back the body.
And with the marine mineral complex, we have seen some of our own clients have their bone density reversed in a very short period of time. It's been really amazing. And it's not like getting a calcium. People think, oh, I need to get calcium in my body, but we're really overcalcified as a society. This marine mineral complex is plant-based, so we can absorb it. Our body recognizes 97% of it and can put it to good use rather than depositing in our joints, rather than causing problems within the body with having too much calcium.
Exactly, Tina. It's like we're seeing all these what would be considered medical miracles, and actually they're just part of how the body works, and we're facilitating that.
Mm-hmm. So this is a fun slide for us. We don't lose energy as we age. We actually, if you go to the next one, Joe, we age because we lose the ability to make energy. And Dr. Chris was talking about the cell, and there's two things that the cell does. It makes energy and it makes proteins for tissue. And so as we age, we lose that signaling, we lose that ability. And because we lose the ability, we lose energy. So it's really different. People would think that we lose energy as we age, but actually we age because we lose the ability to make energy. And that's what StemRenu does, is it helps you to make your own energy again. It helps you to become young, and partnering with the other NHT products helps accelerate that process to come back to youth.
Good slide here, Joe. Again, we're introducing such incredible foods that we have to tell everyone that, none of these products have been, they're not designed to treat, cure, ameliorate any type of disease. But again, because they're foods, they're not regulated by the FDA, so therefore they're not evaluated that way. But we make our formulas in the best GMP labs, which means good manufacturing practices. They're recognized around the world for the integrity, so that when we introduce formulas, they have the highest ingredient integrity as well as the best formulations available. And we get them out there to the world and see incredible results because we're just helping the body do what it knows how to do best. So thank you, Joe.
Chris.
Thank you, Joe.
Yes, an incredible job. I've got a couple of questions, which it's real important for people to understand. The active ingredient, the YTE extract, can you explain to people that we have the global exclusive rights to it and why that is important?
Sure.
Glad to, Joe. we discovered that this technology has been around for like 80 years, and it actually came out of Canada, your home country there, Joe. And there was a doctor, John Davidson, who discovered how the incubated extract had the ability to just facilitate the body's regeneration and repair. And Dr. John Davidson just did remarkable work. But at the time, he was so ahead of his time. You know, we've heard this story before about other great scientists that no one could recognize what he was introducing to the world. So this technology was lost in spite of the many, many patients that he had helped with it. And then it was rediscovered in the 90s by a Norwegian PhD. And this doctor showed how this incredible ingredient has the ability to do all the things we said. So we were able to go to Norway and not just meet the distributors of this product, but actually the egg producers. And we developed a relationship with them and established a global exclusivity for accessing this ingredient. And so we're the only ones that can procure it as well as make formulas with it. So we're pretty excited about having this incredible ingredient that allows us to make not just StemRenu, but other formulas that you're going to see down the road.
Great. Next question is, obviously taking nutritional game-changing products like this one, we want to get people to have the maximum results and feel an impact. So can you just share with people what's the dosage? How many come in the bottle? When should they take it? Is it on an empty stomach, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, it's right there on the bottle. The recommended dose is a 1 to 4, and it's very simple. Because it's food, you can take it any time during the day, but we suggested you take it by itself because you don't want it to compete with anything else that you're ingesting. We want everything as much as possible to get into the body. The body will recognize it for what it is, and it just has a powerful benefit. There's 60 caps in a bottle, so it can last anywhere from 1 to 2 months, depending upon how you take it. Some individuals need more, and I think the best way to determine that is the individual will take it according to their own needs and their own body's response. But think of it from what we shared in this webinar is that it mediates stress. So the more stress in your life, the more this will help you. It'll help combat that breakdown that will happen with stress. You mediate that. So there's days that we'll just take 1 or 2, and then there's days that we fly and do lectures and have incredible trauma and stress.
Yeah.
That's a little too much for me, but I'll get up to 6.
Yeah.
Tina will do 8.
Sometimes I'm at 8. But I think the most important point here is it's food, and it's very, very safe. And everybody needs to learn how to kind of be in tune with their own body. And you'll be able to tell, if you've taken too much, because you might just get a little headache or it might be too much for you. So just back it down if you need to, but it's very safe.
Joe, one of the things, if people would go back to the slide that shows all the ingredients that make up StemRenu have been consumed by the cultures of the world for thousands of years. So there's nothing in there that's unique or new. It's just that how it's manufactured, how it's harvested, and how it's combined that make the magic. And so you just have a wonderful composition of powerful foods that have the ability to regenerate, restore, and repair the body.
Yeah, so that's a perfect segue, Tina and Chris, regarding detox. You touched on it briefly, Tina. Can you share with people kind of the symptoms of detox? I know sometimes when you go through a detox and they're feeling bad, they immediately think the product is causing them harm. So we can walk people through that.
Absolutely. So it's really important. We talked about how the body loses the ability to make energy. And when we lose the ability to make energy, we don't have enough energy every day to detoxify the body. So over time, we'll accumulate toxins in the various organs, tissues, glands. And so once you start taking StemRenu and your body starts to create energy again, you start to create energy to be able to even detoxify. So you might end up feeling a little tired. A lot of people that have a lot of hormones that come back into balance will say, you know what, I feel tired for like 3 days. Why do I feel this is supposed to give me energy? We go, great. Honor your body, rest, because once you get through that process and those hormones can recalibrate, you're going to reach another level of wellness. The other thing that people might experience is they might just get a little bit of headaches because they have some chemicals in their body that the body wants to dispel. We tell people through this process, a couple of things are really important. Drink a lot of water, have a low stress diet, and one of the things that would complement the StemRenu is the cluster X2 in your water. It will really help pull some of that toxicity out in a very balanced, gentle way. So if you feel like you're detoxifying too quickly, just back down on your StemRenu and take it a little bit slower, but really honor your body. You could take soak baths with salt in them to help pull it out through the skin, because the skin is one of the biggest detox organs of the body as well. So just make sure that you're doing everything you can to support it. It's a good thing. We want your body to detox.
And Tina and Joe, and I think it impresses the fact that the more you can take the other products with the StemRenu, you're going to support the body in its ability to do the building, the repairing, and the cleansing and the detoxification. So these are all natural processes of the body. So rather than taking something that suppresses a symptom, we're taking something that regenerates and repairs. So think of this architect. The StemRenu is coming in there and it's looking at making a brand new building. So it's got to take the old building out and put the new one in its place, and all that debris and junk has to get removed. And that's what's happening when you take StemRenu.
And so when you can complement it with all of those great building blocks of the other NHT products, you're going to build a sturdy, healthy house.
Great. One last question. Over the years, I've come to realize, just helping, we've got 60 millionaires in NHT right now. We're creating, 2 or 3 a quarter now. It's unbelievable what's happening. And I always found, Tina and Chris, when we are aligned with what we want in life and we're not holding on to the baggage in our life, there becomes a time where, when we're perfectly aligned, there's a wow moment where we all get it, and then great prosperity and abundance happens to us. And there is that same, results that would happen with synergistic alignment happens with health. So what was your wow moment when you knew you had something special here?
Well, let me tell you my own story, Joe, and I'll keep it short, but we put this formula together and we started taking it, and just after a week we were traveling and introducing this to a group of friends, and then we're at the airport and woke up that morning to catch the plane, and the right side of my face had blown up like a balloon. I looked like I was a chipmunk on that side. And we got to back home and raced to the dentist, barely got to the office in time. And he took an x-ray and he said, you had a root canal here on this tooth. And how long ago was it? And I said, well, it's 25 years ago. He said, well, you won't believe it, but a small piece of the dental instrument had broken off and was there, and my body wasn't able to find it for 25 years until I took StemRenu. It activated the immune response and the recognition of an inflammatory site in my body, and it started to heal and repair and go after it. So immediately, the dentist showed me the x-ray, and it was just incredible.
My wow moment was when I realized that I wasn't getting up 2 or 3 times in the middle of the night, unrestful sleep, to go to the restroom. I started to sleep so soundly, and I ended up, my head would hit the pillow and I was out immediately, and I didn't need as much sleep. I actually was able to sleep through the night, and it was so strange to know that I was sleeping through the night. And I know there's so many people that have that. And then there's just all of the stories that started to come back. You'll hear Rosie, Richard, just phenomenal heart-centered stories. We knew that we had something incredible.
Fantastic. Well, speaking of Rosie and Richard, I'm going to bring on Richard Bennett. from the West Coast of the United States. Richard, I understand that you've got an incredible story. Can you share it with everybody?
Oh, we lost Richard.
Okay, so Richard,
Do you hear me?
I can
There
hear
he
you
is.
now. Go ahead, Richard.
Hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes, I'm a year and a half out now from a total knee replacement surgery, and that was my ninth knee surgery in a 36-year period of my life. Originally, when I was 17, I was injured playing football, total dislocation, and rebuilt my knee. And then about 17 years ago, I had fallen, and that resulted in a ACL replacement that ended up getting infected. And from that infection, I ended up, with about an additional 3 to 4 surgeries to clean that up and to rebuild the knee. But my last 2 surgeries from the infection, I had a real problem with scar tissue, to the point that they had to take me back into surgery, put me to sleep, and bend my knee in order to break that scar tissue up, which is not real pleasant. So when I about a year, 2.5 years ago, I talked to my surgeon and was telling him the issues that were going on with my knee, and that the things that I wasn't able to do and the things that I wanted to be able to do. And it was his recommendation that I have a total knee replacement. And during our conversation, that he was concerned as I was with scar tissue and also infection being a potential issue. Well, I can tell you that you say the word game changer. StemRenu was a game changer. But because of this surgery, I had no problem with scar tissue, to the point where my physical therapist, said that he had seen, hundreds of total knee replacements. And he said, you have got to be in the top 5 that I've ever seen. He said, your soft tissue is responding unbelievably. To the point one time, Joe, that my knee was bending so well that he just looked at me and he says, this isn't normal. He said, I can't believe this. He said, you are doing so well with all the surgeries that you've had. He said, I'm almost thinking that I'm going to hurt you. And I said, I'm fine. Keep going. So, through the process of the rehab, I said with the working out and things that I was doing, I just was never sore. And within 6 months of the replacement, I was on my bicycle. I remember the day I went and rode it 20 miles straight. And I can tell you that before that, I couldn't go 6 to 8 miles without being in excruciating pain. And if I had done that, I'd pay for it for, at least a day or two with pain. And then I remember, last Thanksgiving, my son was 25 years old. I had him come outside. I said, Ross, I want to show you something. He says, okay. And I went jogging by. And his comment to me was, he says, Dad, he said, I've never seen you jog in my life. And so again, that's my StemRenu story. It's a game changer, and was a godsend to me.
Wow. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate you coming on here.
Yeah,
Rose,
Joe, I'd like
Thank you,
to
Joe.
yeah, go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, I'd like to comment real quick because Richard's story is a perfect example of here he's older with his surgery. And also the more surgeries you have, the more it compounds the trauma. It's like each surgery doesn't allow for the body to respond better. It responds even harder because of the compound dynamics of the previous surgeries. So here, it's a perfect example of how the renewal dynamics of StemRenu allowed him to respond as if it were like his first surgery and he was young again, and his body had the ability to heal and repair from a whole different dynamic because of this incredible regenerative integrity and energy that the StemRenu introduces into the body. So Richard, your story is profound, and why we work with athletes and why we work with children with the developmental issues, and we're going to hear Rosie's story next with her son Nathaniel. It's just powerful.
Yes, Chris, thank you. Thank you again, Richard, and I'm sure Patricia, your wife, is real happy that you're getting younger.
She's very happy.
Very true. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got our next great testimonial. Rosie, can you hear us?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you very much for coming on. Can you share your story?
Definitely. I kind of put a couple of notes down so I wouldn't lose myself here, but let me see here. Yes, my son Nathaniel, okay, he's 12, and he has autism. He's very verbal, and he's very articulate, but he suffered with a lot of emotional issues, including anxiety and meltdowns that included hitting and kicking, and he had a lot of difficulty sleeping through the night. He was in his own world most of the time, and he had trouble with empathy for others. We had tried many, many natural products, but they would backfire. He would start, having these episodes, or it seemed like he was worse as opposed to better. So we also tried several prescription medications, but he had psychotic episodes from that, and they increased in severity, or he was so lethargic he couldn't function because they would just like make him sleepy, and he would tell me, Mom, I don't like how I feel. So we were really losing hope, and I was really preparing myself to have my son either in a special hospital setting or in juvenile hall. And it was a very, very dark time for us. And I believe that by divine intervention, a very dear friend of mine, Peggy, who I've known for a long time, introduced us to Dr. Chris and Tina's phenomenal product. Within 3 or 4 days of my son taking just a half a capsule, I had to start very slow with him because he's very, very sensitive to medications. I saw small changes, and they were like with empathy, like he started doing things, different things, something, just a small example is I was coughing, actually choking on my own spit, and he comes and he puts his hand on my shoulder, which he doesn't really touch that much as a rule. He came and put his hand on my shoulder, and he looks at me and he goes, Mom, are you okay? And I go, oh, it's okay, mijo. I go, I'm choking on my own spit. He went and got a glass of water for me, and he said, here, Mom, drink this. He never did that in all his life, okay? So finally, after about 3 months, I moved him up to 1. I went from a half to 3/4 to 1. And then after the full capsule, he began sleeping through the night for the first time in 12 years, okay? We were amazed. My husband and I just kind of went, what? He's not here by our bed this morning, So as a result, his meltdowns have notably decreased, as well as his anxiety. He now interfaces so much better with the outside world. He expresses his thoughts and his feelings like never before, and he does display a new empathy for his surroundings. One thing, about a month after he began the product, we were riding our bikes, and we were going to stop at a store, and he was helping me lock the bikes, and I said, gee, I go, it's so nice that you're so helpful, just like Daddy. He takes care of me, and you're taking care of me. And he said to me, Mom, I always thought about doing this, but it never came out, and now it can. And I think, to me, that was such a profound statement, because something was locked inside before, and now all of a sudden he was able to do things, more. And our son still continues with his ABA therapy, which is a special therapy for autistic children, and he continues to meet his goals. His teachers are pleased with his progress in class, and there is just so much more that I can share, that StemRenu has changed our lives. My son, we have a 10-year-old son, and he tells me, Mom, Nathaniel has changed so much. I really like him better now. And, you know, it just continues to amaze me, all the, you know, all the things. He's able to handle his anxiety better. Like before, he would melt down, start kicking things, and do all this stuff. Now he'll just take a break. He'll walk out of the room. He'll go on the computer for a while and de-stress. So he's learning, you know, how to do these things. So I just can't say enough about StemRenu, and I thank God that you know, it is in our life. Our whole family dynamics have changed, and I just feel blessed. There's not enough that I can say about the product, and I just thank God, and I thank Tina and Dr. Chris for, you know, for their ability to put together this phenomenal product. Thank you so much. And I've also been taking StemRenu now for over a year, and in a future testimonial, I would love to share what it has done for my many health issues. Thank you so much.
Rosie, thank you.
There's nothing greater than a mother has love for their children. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for your testimonial. That was fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, we're nearing the end of the presentation here. I want to just share with you when I first saw the power behind this product. And if you just look at it as common sense, there is nothing in this universe, nothing in this world that when you start, just think about what happens with that egg. From day 1 to day 21, a live form is materialized. Just think about that. You know, I'm not getting into science, but just think about that. The power of what happens in that egg. Am I correct, Chris and Tina?
You're correct.
Exactly. The power that made us has the power to heal us.
It's not only a game changer, it's a life changer.
And, you know, I was on the road with Dr. Lyle, the formulator of Restore. We're going to have him on a webinar here in a couple of weeks, April 30th. But he had shared in his on stage in his presentations that StemRenu combined with Restore, but StemRenu was the game changer. And this is a gentleman that has more degrees than anyone that I know. So that is I'm sure he's going to talk about that in a couple of weeks. So thank you very much, Dr. Chris and Tina. You guys are absolutely awesome. For those of you who want to order the product, you know, after today's webinar, and if you after today's webinar, if this doesn't convince you to get on this product, to have your family on this product, to have your extended family on this product, you need to have. There is a challenge, guys. I didn't want to offend anybody, but there is a challenge. You need to get everybody on this product. You can go into the nearest NHT Global distributor, find an NHT Global distributor, find someone who will introduce you to the webinar here today and in the future. This has been recorded, and they'll show you how you can order the product. We have a very unique situation here. The product you can get in NHT as a distributor. There's no tiered pricing for this product. $60 for 60 caps, correct, guys?
You're correct. Yes,
Okay.
correct.
If you're in Europe, if you're in Asia, you're in Africa, you know, wherever you are, Australia, New Zealand, this is only available in Canada and the United States back office. So we are going to have it in Asia. You know, Tina and Chris are going to be on the road over there and throughout China and Hong Kong in the next couple of months. It's going to be launching over there, and it's also going to be launching in Europe. But if you want to get a minimum quantity, you can reach out to me, reach out to your NHT Global sponsor, become a distributor, and we'll show you how you can get the product and ship it over there in minimum quantities. So Doc Chris, Tina, unbelievable job. You can tell I'm really excited. I'm going to leave you guys with one last thought. I shared with everybody that we are the best kept secret in network marketing. And if you just look at the orders here, this is a great graphical representation of what's happening here with NHT Global from 2010, 2015. This is a unique situation. There is not a company on this planet in their 10th year, in their 9th year, that has grown this quickly. Yes, at the beginning, companies grow that quickly. But in their 10th year, where they start to grow as rapidly as we are, there's something special going on here, ladies and gentlemen. We now have StemRenu. It's going to be a global launch. This is a game changer. Timing is everything in business, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you make the right decision. Get this webinar will be up on YouTube here within the next few hours. So you can go and share it as a tool to share the world what NHT Global has here. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. God bless. God bless to you, Tina and Chris. Thank you very much, Richard and Rosie. Have a great day, everyone. God bless. Bye-bye.